Hi, I'm Nikki. Welcome to my first art video. I'm drawing a portrait of a beautiful black woman. This was actually done over 5 days over on Twitch. You can click on the link in the description if you want to catch me over there. I'd love to hang out with you. Anyways, I loved this reference photo. This woman is gorgeous and the skin is just mwah. I loved it. I wanted to paint it as soon as I saw it. I'll include a link to the reference I used in the description too. But I thought since I want to improve my skin painting skills that this would be a good one to study from. There was some great contrast and as I said, the skin is luscious. But while I want to improve as an artist overall, I feel like I need to focus on one thing at a time. So since I love portraits, I thought I'd focus in here for a while. I need to get the lightness better, and that takes careful observation and focus and such. I got this method that I'm using in this painting from Paintable. Don't know if you've heard of it, but they had a one-week portrait painting class that I followed, and in it they taught to start with basic shapes, a big brush, and just get the basic outline of everything, and then get increasingly more detail with each new layer. I did about 3 separate sketches on this one, and the last one I got as close as I possibly could to the likeness, but I think later down in the process, like near the end, I actually adjust the face proportions and the shoulder a bit too, but that was like in the end in Photoshop and using the liquify tool. But yeah, I need to get better at capturing lightness, and I know it's just gonna take practice. The more I draw portraits, the better I'll get at it, So that's what my goal is right now, just draw a lot of portraits. So this is actually the second one of the portraits since I started this process, or since I started this goal, this focus. I did one before, but I forgot to record it. But it's on Twitch, so I can take it down. I can download it and upload it here on YouTube. It's just gonna take some finagling because on Twitch, people can comment with emotes and stuff, and the emotes actually fly around on the screen. So in this video, even in this video, you'll see there are a few jump cuts because I had to cut out where emotes were flying across the screen, which was just very frequent. So that's one of the issues with downloading videos from Twitch. That's why I prefer if I just record the video while I'm streaming, then I don't have to deal with that. So you might actually see some emotes flying around if I didn't get them all. I'm sorry. I thought I got all of them, but maybe I missed 1 or 2. It'll be a little Easter egg. But this part I'm painting now, where I'm doing all the colors, used to be my least favorite part. But I actually really, really love how it looks when I'm done with this step. Just blocking in the colors, just eyeballing it and seeing if I can get the colors as close as I can, and it looks so cool when I'm done. I actually saved this in between step and I actually posted on my social media because I think it's so cool. But this kind of geometric pattern, this look, is something I really admire in like seeing other people's art, like some of my favorite artists that I follow. So I'm really happy that I'm able to kind of capture that myself in these portraits that I'm doing. Even though they're not clean and perfect, I feel like, they're kind of messy, but if you look at them from afar, it actually looks really cool, But I feel like this is one step closer to my goal of being able to make different styles of portraits, starting with this look, Anyways, I'm about to start rendering now. I actually tried to use a different method for rendering. I tried using this other brush, the traditional paintbrush texture kind of thing. Also, this is Paint Tool Side that I'm using. I use Paint Tool Side in Photoshop, and in Paint Tool Side, the texture brushes are not as advanced as in Photoshop, I think. So I usually stick with one blending brush. But I started out trying this paintbrush. If you look at the eyelids, you can kind of see the texture of the paintbrush strokes, which I really like there, but I didn't really like it anywhere else on the skin, so I went back to my old method. I really like how the air came out on this one. I thought it looked so realistic. I mean, it still looks painted, airbrushed, but that's kind of one of my problems. My finish is very airbrushed. I kind of want to work on getting more texture in my finish, in my work in general, but I don't know, I'm kind of scared of texture. Every time I put down texture, I want to blur it out. It's like in me to make it smooth. I need it smooth. But I really love the textured finish, so it's on my list of things to work on, but just not just yet. So I'm in the rendering phase now, and this is when things start to come alive, and it's so fun to see the fruits of my labor, but I really love this method. I'm really glad that I found out about it from Paintable. They were a great help. Using my blending brush, I just kind of blur the edges of the colors that I laid down earlier, and it starts to come together really well. But the method is so simple. I mean, you just lay down some blocks of color and you start to blend them in. Like, you do have to be careful to keep some hard edges, some soft edges, and there is an art to it, of course. You know, more practice, the better you get at it. But the method itself is really simple and easy to learn. I kind of struggled with the hand for a little bit. I didn't notice that it was so thin, like the wrist, the connection from the hand to the arm was so thin till later on, and I do correct it later on, you'll see. But one of the things I do have a problem with is, like, because I'm so close up to the painting, I don't get the feel of everything coming together. So all I'm doing is like blending and continuing on, and I'm like, this doesn't look great. This doesn't look right. And it's not until I zoom out or look away and like talk to someone in chat and come back, then I'm like, oh, it actually looks decent. Or I can see, oh, I just need to fix this part or rework that part, you know, and just add a little color here and it'll be good. So I really like to see it coming together now in the sped up version. It's amazing how little touches of paint make such a big difference. And see, I just extended the arm there to make it a bit wider. It looks a lot better. I really love how the lips came out in this. It wasn't super colorful. I usually like to make my lips with a tinge of pink or red, but the reference had her lips this color and it looks so beautiful. I loved how it came out. The smoothness and the highlights, I could never pull it off before, but it actually looked pretty good. Then I'm doing the eyelashes. They looked pretty cool. I thought they came out okay. At first I wasn't really sure about them, but it came out alright. I guess because I've never really been very confident with eyelashes, so I kind of just fudge it until they figure it out, you know? Oh, and I really struggled with the eyebrows, getting it to look like the reference, but in the end I was just like, oh, whatever, and I just left it. So right now I'm just adding the finishing touches on the skin, you know, some little highlights here, shadows there, just to give those final touches. Overall, I thought the skin really worked, you know, it came out really good. So now I've moved on to the clothes, which was really a really satisfying result too. Like, I'm not very good at painting clothes from imagination. It's something I want to get better at. So when I was doing it with the reference, I was like, oh, that's how you make that look like that. Oh, I was learning so much. So it really was a satisfying experience to paint this shirt, this top, especially because there was this stark white highlight on it. The light source was bleaching out the white. It was like this stark white, so it was really satisfying result when I was done with it. So one thing that I learned for sure was like those subtle shading in the shadows, you know, those subtle highlights, those reflective lights. Usually when I'm doing the shirts or clothes, I don't really pay attention to those as much. I do it on the skin, but not really on clothes. So it was really cool to see it in this top and kind of ingrain it into my methods, you know? Okay, and now I'm doing the hair. So I have this rock brush in my Photoshop arsenal that I thought was just perfect for this, to get the edges the way I wanted them to be. I had a little trouble doing it in the larger sections, but I did eventually figure it out. If I had thought about it, I could have just rotated the brush to have the side of it that gives the best result all around, but it came out all right, and I'm really happy with the edges. Now the hair part itself, I feel like could still have used some work to make it look more like hair, you know? But overall, it was a pretty good result. I feel like of all the hairs that I've done of this texture, I feel like it's one of the better ones. I mean, I've done a lot of curly hairs, but I've never really gotten this result, so I'm really happy with it. Overall, I'm really, really happy with it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not perfect. There's some things I could have done to make it better, but I feel like this is as far as my skill set can take me right now, so I'm gonna be happy with my results and be quiet. Well, we're nearing the end of this, and I'm really happy with how this portrait came out. Everything really came together, you know? All the skills that I've learned so far really came together for this one, and I feel like I learned a lot in this portrait. I want to see if I can apply what I learned from painting the skin on a piece from imagination. That's my goal. I want to be able to paint a lot of portraits from imagination, from my head, you know? So I really want to see how much I learned from this. I think it may be a bit of a frustrating experience because it won't look anything close to a realistic painting, but it'll still be pretty good, I think. I hope. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below down in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. And again, if you want to see me paint this in real time, feel free to check me out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/IamNiki. The link is in the description below too. But I hope to see you there. Hope to meet you and chat about your experiences in art, and I look forward to seeing your own work. If you're an artist too, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see your work. We have a Discord connected to my Twitch, so feel free to drop into the Discord. We have channels where you can share your work and everything. And I'd love to see it. I'd love to meet you. I look forward to it. Bye.